What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. You know, I guess I need to speak about the elephant in the room, or this big ass truck. I love these things. I'm a truck guy. I love big trucks. This belongs to a buddy of mine. Like, I don't know. If I'm driving this truck, like, I'd probably be in prison right now because I'd be at the mall, like, riding around chasing all teenage girls or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But I love this thing. This thing is bad. Look how big this damn thing is. That building is 12 foot tall. It's almost as tall as the damn building. Like, I got a Bass Pro Shop shirt, but I wear it with my buckle jeans. Exactly, stretchy pants. But I've been around these trucks all my life. My dad drove dualies. You know, I've had dualies in the past, and 250s and 3/4 ton trucks and diesel trucks. But a funny story. I know you guys love a good story time with old Rabbit. I was about 10 years old. I was about 10-year-old. I'm gonna be like an old man. I feel like an old man, like I tell a story. I'm about 10-year-old. I was about 10 years old, and a really good friend, still a good friend to this day, he was a banker. And, you know, I've dealt with a lot of bankers. I got a lot of banker friends. And this guy was a good friend of my dad's and still is. And you know, and he was that guy that I always liked the banker type guys. You always liked that lifestyle. You know what I mean? He wore a suit and, you know, expensive watch and, you know, and always driving a cool car. He got that cool desk job. And my buddy, he always had cool cars. Like, he was always into old cars, or he's liable to come driving up in anything. Kind of like me on that end of it. You know, whether it be an Army Jeep or a hot rod or a big lifted truck or whatever. Like, he always had the cool toys. Always had a vet, always had a dually or 3/4 ton truck. Well, like I said, I was about 10 years old. So this is 88, 89. My banking buddy and my dad's banking buddy came by the shop and told us he was going through a divorce. You know, and all how that goes. Lord knows I've had experience in that department. Kind of like my banker buddy. It's like everything but the bank part I've done. They went, and their attorneys, you know, mediated, went back and forth. He had some property and some business stuff that obviously he didn't want her to get a share of. So in mediation, they agreed on a certain amount, $30,000 actually, basically just to give her, to keep her out of everything. You give me $30,000, I'll stay away from your stuff. So he knew months ahead of time, before everything was going to be finalized, that he was going to have to give her $30,000. And he wasn't too brokenhearted about it, but he was that guy. He worked at the bank, and he wanted to get that last jab in. You know, and he was always a joker. You know, he was always that guy that played a prank. And like, the first thing that comes to mind, you know, keep in mind, he was the guy in the suit. So whenever he used to bring like his truck to the shop, we used to take grease, like old ball joint grease or like wheel bearing grease, and just wipe it on the back of his door handles. So he'd get it all in his hands, under his nails and all this stuff just before he went back to the bank. Like, I mean, and like, we always played jokes on each other. So he was that guy. So he found a way, best way he thought, to give his soon to be ex-wife $30,000. And the only thing is, it had to be in a cashier's check or in cash. That was the only rules. So, you know, you think, man, works at the bank, certified checks, no big deal. Simple and easy. Hell, $30,000. Stacked like that. Ain't nothing to it. He didn't want to do that. I will never forget this day, probably for the rest of my life. He had a brand new Chevrolet dually, actually like the square body style dualies. Choo-choo customs, black, red, gray, custom stripes, Alcoa aluminum wheels. This thing's tricked out, turbo wing on the top, 454 gas job, because 6.2 diesel sucked back then. 454 gas job. This thing was beautiful. Crew cab, everything you could throw at it. Double stack, running boards, the whole shooting match. And I mean, it was gorgeous. It was brand new. And he come pulling up to the shop, and I heard first, it was a brand new truck. It didn't have loud exhaust. Like, what in the hell? And here come my buddy. We come walking out in the shop yard, and this dually was literally dragging his Texas bumper on the back. And you realize the suspension under a 1-ton truck These things pull fifth wheel campers and trailers and heavy loads. And this thing was, like the tires were rubbing the fenders on it. And he hopped out, literally smiling like a possum eating pumpkin seeds. Ha! Check this out. He had $30,000 in pennies in the back of this truck. Canvas bags with $50 in each one. They weigh 34 pounds apiece. Now you keep in mind how many $50 it takes of these bags to make 30,000. We had pennies all in the bed, long bed truck, full. I'm talking heaped over. He had pennies in the back seat. Headed to court. He hops in his truck, big block, just screaming. Drives downtown, pulls up the courthouse, just like any other divorce proceedings in court. About 15 minutes. Everybody says their things. Yes, sir. Sign. You're done. Well, you got to pay your wife this much. Certified check or cash. She says, cash. I left it in the back of my truck. She needs to go get it. She walks out there and sees this dually sitting there, squatted with pennies. Him and his attorney were walking out of the building when the bailiff grabbed him by the arm and walked him back into the courtroom and all the way into the back of the courtroom, into the judge's quarters. So there was the wife and her attorney, my buddy and his attorney, the bailiff and the judge. He said, you have 30 minutes to give her something, this worth $30,000, that she can carry out of here in one hand, or you're going to jail for contempt of court. So he calls my father up and he says, hey, I need you to bring me $30,000 like now. And luckily we had some big jobs come in and my dad floated him $30K. So my dad ran him some money to the courthouse. And this is why we got all these cool details to this. So my dad dropped some money off so his stupid ass buddy doesn't go to jail for being a smart ass. And he drives this dually back to the shop and starts unloading these pennies at our shop. Because where the hell are you gonna put all these pennies at? He starts unloading them and throwing these bags off. These bags of pennies everywhere. We got people coming in the shop, and just bags of pennies. And there's like these canvas bags, and they got like a leather top with a zipper latch on them. Just dropping them off back truck. And it keeps unloading, but the truck doesn't come back up. It actually flattened the springs under this dually. So we had to put new springs under his truck to fix the truck from this little stunt. And it took him about 6 months, because you gotta keep in mind, he was ordering this money like from the Fed, and they were bringing it in, a load at a time or whatever, to get this many pennies at once. Well, obviously he couldn't go to the bank and say, hey, I got $30,000 worth of pennies. I'll take, hundreds, So he had to, like, a couple bags at a time, trade them in for cash to get his money back. It took him about 6 months to do that. I bumped into him the other day and he's remarried and he's happy now and everything's going great, but we still laugh about the penny story that still, like every time I even see a penny, the first thing I think of is my banking buddy and his dually sitting there going down the road like this. Some of the crazy things you see in this life, kids. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars.
Get back.
Love it. You ready?
Ready.
Why don't you go back over there?
You're in your
I'm gonna take the battery out of your damn Jazzy.
You're in your third 20.
Asshole. It's for about a man and your Jazzy makes you feel old. It's all right. It's where my glasses were.
No, glasses are above it.
It's fine.
It almost looks like a woodpecker.
It's good.
Gray hair? Or is it bald spot?
You think we need a new camera guy? Just saying. There's two things I've learned at 40. You don't trust a fart, and you never waste a heart on. I'm just saying. That was straight like this the whole time. Although they got pills for that shit now. You hear this go, Roman? We're looking for sponsorships. Guys, be sure to visit trailermod.com for all your trailer parts needs. Be sure to use promo code RABBIT15 for 15% off your order. because you never know, you might not get another.